Oh man, that was one hell of a vacation. Anyway, hello guys, Jacob Scott, back to cover 2 episodes from the WKW Network. We're not going to waste any time and we'll talk about what matches happened on WKW. So, I received word that the reason why MCon has been having these singles matches as of late is because Diamond Knight is on vacation. So, hey, give MCon some singles experience. And he certainly had a good showing against the powerhouse of the mob in AJ King. Now, King did kind of try to put some power moves on an MCon, but he's just proving he's way too quick, and MCon using that strength of his to lift up AJ King for an 8-second ride got him to win, and I will say a pretty impressive one. We know Diamond Knight's the workhorse of the Amazing Diamonds, but I don't know. If MCon keeps this up, he might be just as good, maybe. So our second match was the Elites going up against 2 mystery opponents. Now the Elites cut a little promo saying that they haven't really been liking any of these new teams that have been showing up across both shows as of late. So whatever team wants to show themselves, come get some. We'll kick your asses. Well, I don't know if you really wanted to have wished that, Elites, because your opponents, former WWE Tag Team Champions Sylvain Grenier and Rene Dupré, La Resistance. That's right. These 2 French-Canadian boys are back into wrestling. Sorry, Rob Conway is not with them. So, I will have to say the Elite certainly got a lot more than they bargained for, as after a quick takeout onto Jeff, La Resistance was able to hit their finisher, which looked like a wheelbarrow codebreaker onto Terry Terror for the victory. Sorry, Elites, La Resistance is here to stay. Okay, so on the note, I will never try to make obnoxious noise like that again. We go straight to our third match, another tag team match. It's Kyle Noble and number 1 of the Vigilantes taking on Red Oni and Shelton Benjamin. Now, before the match got started, Kyle Noble called him out and said, you know what, I was the last person eliminated in the Wolf Chamber, so I'm going to get another title shot right now. But right before that could get started, Sky Slash came out and told Noble, you know what? I don't care that you're hiding behind your vigilantes back. I am done with your bullshit. And if I have to drag Mr. Davis out to make sure you don't get your match, I will do so. And that didn't seem to phase Noble one bit as he quickly got number 1 and they wiped the floor with Red Oni and Shelton. Yeah, number 1 did take a little bit of a beating. I think there's a little chip inside his anonymous mask now. But Noble got a quick win onto Red Oni, hitting the disobedient knee. 1, 2, 3. I had this feeling this was going to be a foregone conclusion, but, beggars cannot be choosers now, can they? That led us to our fourth match, with the aforementioned Sky Slash going up against Mustafa Ali in an Extreme Rules match. Now, Ali was looking to redeem himself after accidentally costing himself the win against Cyrus for the title in that steel cage match, which was very unfortunate, by the way. But he was no slouch. He really brought it to my friend Sky, which, I mean, wow, they were just starting off immediately right off the bat with counters. This guy going to the outside, just grabbing whatever weapon he could find. And there is a rather cool / brutal spot where first he gets dropkicked through a table and immediately afterwards tossed headlong into a chair propped into the corner. But a few baseball bat shots from Sky quickly evened those odds. And then they began to fight on the scraps of the broken table. Be careful, you can get a splinter. And that led to the finish where after Sky got dropped down with a big kick, he got hit with a 450, and I think he got so stunned that he forgot to kick out. But to be fair, he's pretty livid about how Noble's just going to get a shot like that, despite the fact he clearly lost the chamber, so I think he was a bit off focus. He'll be fine. I think so anyway. Whatever this next match is, I'm sure he'll be able to fully refocus until then. I hope. That led to a quick promo between Kino Kobashi and Eric Black, and they were going to have a match in the next pay-per-view, with Eric Black even saying, you know what, I'll even put my spot against Cyrus on the line, which means, who knows, Kino Kobashi could take his place. But enough about that. We're going to talk about the main event of WKW, a non-title Extreme Rules match with Skullmageddon, your current reigning King of the Wolves champion, going up against Jay Porter. Now, I'm going to be quick on this. For an Extreme Rules match, this one wasn't very, I don't know, extreme. But it didn't really seem to have mattered much because Jay Porter still brought out his good fighting skills. It was just not enough to beat Skullmageddon, who dropped him with that crazy deep six-leg bones maneuver. Dropped him for the 1-2-3. Everybody happy. Until Infamous steps in and tries to launch an assault on Skullmageddon. And right at the end, Infamous was looking for a big power chokeslam. The Skullmageddon countered out of that and just dropped Infamous, meaning his assault failed. And even though he might not have a formal challenger because he beat Jay Porter, I'm starting to get the feeling that Skullmageddon might have to watch out for Infamous in the next pay-per-view. And honestly, that would be a pretty good match if I say so myself. So we're going to be shifting gears onto WDW. 7 matches were on a card, and the first one was arguably a very quick one. It was Dylan Casey, who I think is this close of a little mental breakdown, going up against Gavin Watkins. And Watkins, well, he's pretty pissed off since he lost a Wolf Chamber match. Since he lost his spot in the Wolf Chamber match due to that unfortunate concussion he got, even though he beat Chris Bay. So you can tell he's extra pissed. And he just showed the world by quickly dispatching of Dylan Casey with a ching ching bling bling DDT for the 3. And you see Gavin Watkins, no winner you be. I don't know, I'm not very good with raps. I can't really do rhymes, no one likes a rhymer. Anyway, Gavin Watkins won. I think Casey's mind is about to go like... That led to a second match. The Elites, as I know, they're switching between shows, and that is starting to get on my nerves, going up against the Lucha Liberation, Psychosis, and Owashi Hayabusa. And now the Elites, they suffered quite a loss to La Resistance in WKW, and they didn't have much better luck here on WDW. Which, I mean, they did want to go for the big power team maneuver, but after a big power move by Psychosis, Owashi quickly dispatched of Jeff by dropping him with a running bulldog. So Psychosis simply just grabbed Terror by the legs, swung him around, and dropped him in like a reverse facebuster for the 3. And wow, the Elites have actually lost 2 matches in a row in 1 week. I'll just say this, fuck. The Elites are starting to look not so elite, but with their string of losses they've been having recently. Wow. So, as I predicted, the third match that happened was indeed Isaac Mystery versus Hayate, with Hayate still refusing to acknowledge that Isaac Mystery should be champion. And these guys are just countering moves left and right, and which I think is a contender for match of the night, but I know there's one match left that I'm going to have to say will probably top that. We'll get to that later. Anyway, this was one hell of a match, counters being around left and right, and at one point, Cameron Rose even threw a chair into the ring. Thankfully, it didn't even get used. Now, there was a point where Hayate was in danger of losing when he got caught in the mysterious submission, but he was able to fully power out, and eventually, he dropped Isaac Mystery with one hell of a kick right to the face. And yeah, I'm sorry, Isaac, but in the eyes of the mob, you're no winner. That led to our 4th match, Chris Crimson against Kiyu, in what I think could be the start of Kiyu's heel turn, since backstory, Chris Crimson beat Kiyu fair and square to be in the Wolf Chamber, and Kiyu was not very happy about that, so he attacked Crimson from behind, went to the ring, grabbed a sledgehammer, and just did one hard thrust right to Chris Crimson's rib cage. Ouch. And Crimson was trying to recover from that, but, I mean, come on. It's a hammer right to the ribs. There's no way you're going to be able to fully recover from that in like 2 seconds. So Q easily dispatched him with a Q smash and Q driver. 1, 2, 3. Q had to use a little bit of a heel trickery, but he got the win. Now, I'm starting to think this might be a Q heel turn, or if nothing else, this will be a feud in my eyes. Now what follows is a series of non-title matches. So the 5th match is a non-title match for the Yellow Wave Wolf Tag Team titles, and we once again get the Wild Soldiers up against the Vigilantes, even though we've clearly established about a month ago the Vigilantes are contenders for their titles. Now, I know what you're thinking, this is going to be like a 30-second squash match. Not the case. You see, Huggins didn't really Wildside didn't get involved in the match much at all, but Maximus was in there for God knows how long. He was just taking beating after beating from both members of the Vigilante, and there's a cool moment I really want to talk about, where right after Maximus just gave number 2 the mother of all boots to the head, he didn't even take a 1 count. Number 2 got up at nothing. That big boot didn't even faze the guy. I want to say that was mainly a leg slap. And then right after they floored Maximus and crushed his leg with that little Boston Crab diving splash maneuver of theirs, Billy Huggins got tried to get involved, got dropped, and number 1 got up on the corner and just moonsaulted over a standing number 2 and hit Wildside with it. And pretty much Maximus got beaten so much that after being dragged on the top rope and clubbed downwards, he wasn't able to respond. So technically, even though we still had to take it to a pinfall just to show dominance, at that moment, the Vigilantes had already won by knockout. Okay, at this point, I'm really starting to become a little frightened about the Vigilantes. This led to the 6th match, another non-title match. This one being Gabriel Pierce, your current reigning WDW Platinum Champion, taking on The Voice. Now, we don't know what's going on in The Voice's head, but for whatever reason, he just seemed a lot more focused this time. And he was able to drop Pierce quickly with a powerbomb over his knees, like a powerbomb backbreaker. That wasn't enough to put away Pierce. He was still showing that he had some fight left, although I think his glasses visor got chipped a little bit with that big spinning kick of The Voice. Now, Pierce was able to hit the critical error several times, but that wasn't enough to put away The Voice. And once he went for a critical buster one more time, The Voice threw his hands away, dropped him with a big powerbomb backbreaker one more time. And I don't believe this. The Voice is actually the number 1 contender for any championship for the first time. Wow. I'm actually kind of excited to see how The Voice versus Gabriel Pierce is going to be for the next pay-per-view, because it's confirmed. And that will take us to our final match of this week. It is once again Billy Huggins going up against Percy Lopez. Now, Huggins just got word that his opponent for Wolfmania for the vacant WDW title will be Kai Cassidy. So he's like trying to get all the momentum he can, because since, well, Kai started the chamber and he lasted the whole chamber, Huggins knows he has to be ready. So he and Percy Lopez, they are just really, really going at it. With Huggins even able to make Lopez dizzy at one point with that infamous gator roll of his. But once Percy Lopez got him for a cool maneuver where he dropped him with a Dead Valley Driver not once, but twice in quick succession, Billy Huggins, I don't know if he was really able to recover from that, because right afterwards he blocked a maneuver, missed a hobo kick, and then got dropped with the Real Deal Driver for the win for Lopez, which means Huggins' momentum is just snapped right in half. He's going to have to try and get back on the winning train if he wants a shot at beating Kai Cassidy. Well, if Cassidy wins all of his matches, we could have an upset in the making come Wolfmania. Well, about time for me to be hitting the old dusty trail. That was my recap for the week. What'd you guys think? Please let me know in the comments down below. Until then, this is Icy Hot Jacob Scott saying feel the fire, fear the cold, and most importantly, have a good night.